Well, won't I look dumb if Giannis doesn't request a trade? I was so sure it would happen. But now we're hearing some surprising updates. Giannis is vacationing in Brazil, where he funded the renovation of an old basketball court. While playing on it, he nearly injured his leg. Thankfully, he's fine. Then he reportedly told the media, "Yeah, I'm watching the Pacers and Thunder. The finals are different. I hope to be back soon with the Bucks." Wait, back with the Bucks? Right away, people said, "See? He's not leaving." Bucks fans were celebrating, calling it a victory lap. But here's the thing. What exactly is coast-to-coast Brazil? And why was this quote only shared there? I can't even find a video of Giannis actually saying it. Only clips of him talking about the court for kids.
Growing up, I played in a public court myself.
But there's nothing in that clip about Giannis saying he's staying with the Bucks. Don't you think if he really said that, the video would be everywhere? I'm not saying he didn't say it, but how did he say it? Was it just a casual comment or a serious announcement? I highly doubt it was meant as a big statement about his future, like some Bucks fans think. If it was, Giannis would have made that announcement through a major outlet, not coast-to-coast Brazil. There are tons of better platforms he could have used. Still, it's interesting that the media has started backing off their earlier trade rumors. First, Brian Windhorst said, "There's no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market right now. No discussions, no request, and the Bucks aren't shopping him." Then Jake Fisher added, "Confidence about a trade has turned into skepticism. Most NBA execs say they'll believe it when they see it. But it all really started when top reporter Shams Charania said Giannis was open-minded about leaving the Bucks. Now Giannis seems to be trolling Shams, joking about missing Woj, and Shams is clearly backpedaling.
There's a level of skepticism. Does he really go through with it? There's a difference between being open-minded and, from what I'm told, exploring other options and asking for a trade. He's in the process of figuring out exactly what he wants.
Yeah, now he's like, "I never said Giannis was leaving. He's just exploring his options." Oh, now there's a big difference? Funny how he wasn't saying that a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, Chris Haynes hinted at a Giannis Bucks meeting and made it seem like a decision was coming. But nothing ever happened, which was strange. Then Giannis goes on vacation, makes that vague Brazil comment, and now everyone's confused. Honestly, the most accurate take came from the well-connected Zach Lowe. He said, "Nobody knows anything. If someone says Giannis is staying or leaving, they don't know. Nothing's been decided." Shams even said this could drag out until August. One thing's certain, when the Bucks do talk to Giannis, their pitch will likely be, "Dame's injured next season. We might not be contenders right away." The Bucks' pitch might be, "Stick with us through a gap year, then we'll retool and chase another title." And sure, gap years happen, like the Spurs landing Duncan or the Warriors with Kuminga and that unlucky number 2 pick. But there's a problem. The Bucks don't have any draft picks. So what exactly are they doing with a gap year? If they were being honest, they'd tell Giannis, "We won't be truly competitive for at least another 3 seasons. Are you truly prepared for what comes next? If you commit to Milwaukee, we're promising another full-scale push for a second championship, this time when you're in your mid to late 30s. We know loyalty matters to you, Giannis, and there's something special about conquering the NBA mountain twice with one franchise. A title in your late 20s and another a decade later. Very few players in league history can claim that kind of arc. It would cement you as a generational icon who never had to chase rings elsewhere. Of course, the very reason you've even entertained leaving is the thought of spending 20 seasons with the same team and never lifting another trophy. Imagine being a perennial top 3 player, yet entering every postseason with only a sliver of hope. It's exhausting. A major factor holding you back from demanding a trade, though, is the uncertainty of where you'd actually land. Realistic Eastern Conference suitors, Toronto, New York, Brooklyn, are intriguing but hardly title-ready. In the West, San Antonio and Houston offer upside, yet neither is a guaranteed contender. The last thing you want is to follow the Damian Lillard path. Build a brand on loyalty, abandon it, and still come up empty-handed. So the Bucks' pitch has to be airtight. First, they'll frame the long game, stay through a brief retool, and will surround you with fresh lottery talent and cap flexibility. They'll point to recent champions who won through depth, chemistry, in smart drafting rather than assembling a traditional super team. Second, they'll lean into your legacy. Doing it all in one city resonates with fans, historians, and Hall of Fame voters alike. Finally, they'll remind you that Milwaukee is already your basketball home. Coaches who understand your game, a fan base that adores you, and an organization willing to go deep into the tax to keep you competitive. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But if the Bucks can lay out a credible roadmap, lottery picks in the near term, cap space in 2027, and a commitment to roster depth, then running it back for ring number 2 in Milwaukee becomes more than a dream. It becomes a legacy-defining challenge only you can conquer. Remember, the Bucks don't control any of their first-round picks until 2031, not even second-rounders after this year. And have you seen the current roster? They're losing several players to free agency, and last year's team wasn't that impressive to begin with. Dame is out for the season. Brook Lopez, the only championship holdover, is 37. Kyle Kuzma underperformed after the trade, and there's no elite young talent. To make it worse, even with this underwhelming roster, the Bucks are still over the salary cap next year. Right now, the only asset the Bucks have outside of their own free agents is the mid-level exception to add talent. But even with that limitation, there might be a bold plan in the works. Step 1 could happen on draft night. What if the Rockets traded their pick for the Bucks' 2032 first-rounder? It's similar to what the Timberwolves did last year, trading a late first and a swap to the Spurs for the number 8 pick and Rob Dillingham. The Bucks could end up with Houston's number 10 pick. Next year, the Pelicans own a pick swap with Milwaukee. If New Orleans struggles, that pick could also land around number 10. That's back-to-back top 10 lottery picks, 2 solid chances to get lucky and draft a difference maker. Over the past 7 years, a couple of number 10 picks became valuable role players, and many others drafted after that turned into stars. So it's not a crazy idea. The next part of this long-term strategy is cap space. 2 years from now, the only contract Milwaukee has is Giannis's $63 million player option. That would give them as much cap room as any team heading into the summer of 2027. Big names like Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, and Trae Young could be on the market. But let's be honest, free agency isn't what it used to be. Years ago, fans watched closely to see which stars would switch teams in the summer. Now, most re-sign for bigger deals and request trades later. It's rare for stars to hit free agency, and even rarer for them to choose Milwaukee. So the Bucks might aim for high-level role players instead, like Brandon Ingram, Michael Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Luguentz Dort, Tyler Herro, DeJounte Murray, Austin Reeves, or Aaron Nesmith. There's no clear path to finding a co-star for Giannis, but maybe that's okay. In today's NBA, depth and chemistry matter more than ever. If the super team era really is over, Milwaukee could eventually build a contender around Giannis the right way. Or maybe Giannis just waits until next year to leave when a better destination opens up. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic is on another team and looking lean, like he always does in the summer. But maybe this time it's different. He has every reason to stay in shape, though the team around him in LA still needs major improvements to chase a championship.